Has your past lover or friend been on your mind recently? If so, I wouldn't be surprised because we have a Venus retrograde coming up on July 22nd, 2023. And we have a very special person, astrologer Eileen Mello, to share what is going on and what this means for us with this Venus retrograde. My name is Julie of Rainbows Are Circles, and this is Eileen Mello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eileen. I'm a second generation evolutionary astrologer. And yes, today we're going to talk about the Venus retrograde, which is a very juicy transit that happens once every 18 months. So it's not, yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but it also, isn't super rare. And when Venus goes retrograde, I heard an astrologer once call it the season of the X. And I thought that was just too good to be true because inevitably people from our past pop back up. It's very similar to a Mercury retrograde in this way of old people coming back in. And so it is highly likely that if somebody has been on your mind, you will either be reaching out to them or they will be reaching out to you.
Okay. Why does this happen at this time?
Oh, okay. So that's a
What's the point
great,
of them coming back into our lives at this time? Because
yes.
I just want to share really quickly. I didn't even know that this was happening until we talked today. But yesterday, my ex, my first long-term boyfriend, totally randomly texted me. It's been months. It's probably been
Of course
over
you did.
almost a year. Yeah.
Of
And I
course
was
you
just
did.
like, oh, that's weird. And it's not it doesn't feel like he's trying to re-stir things up. He's married, he has a kid. He was just kind of reaching out, which was
hmm
nice. But it was
hmm
also what's that about?
Why? Why? Yeah, so the Venus is all about relationships and our relationships to other folks. And so when she goes retrograde, we're thinking about the past. We're thinking about things that have happened in the past, people from our past. We're reflecting, right? And so often that prompts us to message those people. What is important to remember about a retrograde period, anytime a planet goes retrograde, is it's a time of reflection. So it's not necessarily a time for taking action, although we often will. Well, I also have already had an ex pop back up, and it's and he told me, I've been thinking about you, I miss you, right? And so it's like, yeah, that's what happens. We start reflecting and kind of ruminating also. So my advice would be, before you pick up the phone or send a text message, really be clear with yourself about what it is that you're reflecting on and why, and what your goal is. This is something that, a lot of times we don't want to be honest with ourselves about why we're contacting people from the past. And it can be very innocent, like, oh, you were on my mind, I just want to shoot you off a quick text and say hi. And other times it's stirring something deeply within us that we feel like a grasping or a yearning for from that other person. And so I'm not suggesting that you do or do not take action, just that these periods are great for reflection, and that the clearer you are about why you might want to take action, probably the more favorable outcome you're going to have, so that your expectations are really clear.
Okay. So if whoever's watching, if you are the one wanting to reach out to your ex, then like Eileen said, take a moment, pause, and just ask yourself why, so that your intentions are really clear before you do so. And if you're the one being reached out to from a past lover or friend, then you might think, then this might be a time of just reflection for you on that relationship. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so Venus moves really quickly. So she changes signs quickly. So she'll be in a sign for typically about 3 weeks before she changes signs again. And she moves quickly, she moves closely to the sun. So she's always in a sign that's usually like one sign behind the sun or in the same sign as the sun or one sign ahead of the sun. But because she's moving retrograde, she's actually going to be in the sign of Leo. She's retrograding in Leo for 4 months rather than 3 weeks. So we are getting a really strong influx of the lion energy energy. And Leo is very courageous and very passionate and generous. It's a very, very, very romantic sign. But what Leo wants more than anything is it wants to create. So it typically, anybody with strong Leo energy, because it's the sun's the sun is the planetary ruler of Leo, and the sun is the reason that all life exists on our planet, right? So if you look at this symbolically, Leo is the sign that creates life, but it creates art, creates all different types of things that it has visualized in its mind. And so when Venus is in Leo, it wants to create within relationship. It wants to be inspired in relationship. It wants to have romantic relationships. It wants to feel passionate about its relationships. So if we're reflecting on all of those themes, you might be, if somebody comes in from the past, or if you're thinking about messaging somebody from the past, it could be because they inspired that in you, that they brought out the best in you, that you just shined brightest when that person was around. Or it could be the opposite. Somebody could be coming back in and you're like, that is not for me anymore. Every time I was with you, I felt bad. You took all my money. You were not, you didn't inspire me to be my best self. Every time I told you about a dream or vision I had, you stepped on it like it was a bug, So it's like, these are the types of things we'll be considering. And really, Venus is also a relationship to ourself. So what is your relationship with yourself right now in terms of this dream or vision that you might have? And this is the big question, are you following your heart? So whether or not you want to reach out, or you are being reached out to, or there's nobody, it could be that nobody's contacting you from the past and you're just thinking about, man, I've always wanted to write a book. Or, my dream is to be a singer. Why am I still not singing? Right? This is a time for you to reflect on what is in your heart. Are you following your heart? Do you even know what your heart is saying to you? Do you know how to access your heart? And if you're not following your heart, why not? Why not? So this is how the Leo energy, it wants to create, but it creates from what's in the heart. So very, very, very important to follow the heart during any big Leo energy time. And so this will be 4 months of Venus in retrograde. She comes out of her retrograde on September 3rd. So actually it's 3 months, June, July, August. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had it wrong there. Well, she actually will be in Leo for 4 months, but her retrograde is from July 22nd to September 3rd. Right. And she'll stay in Leo for another month. Yeah, so the retrograde period is only 5 weeks, but she'll be in Leo for 4 months.
Okay. So this is a time for us to pause, to reflect on what our hearts want, whether it's in our lives, in our dreams, or in our relationships, and get really clear on that, on both. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And how your relationships affect whether or not you're following your dreams, or do you allow your relationships to hold you back? Oh, I can't do that. My husband's not going to like it if I take 2 hours a week for myself to work on my passion project. Oh no, there's no time. The kids won't allow it. Blah, blah, blah. You got a million excuses. That's all they are, is excuses. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love it.
Leo don't want no excuses. Leo's the sign of courage. Yeah.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
That was great. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
So yeah, really great reflection questions, everybody. I hope that this video was helpful for you. And we'd love to hear what goes on for you as Venus goes into retrograde. Please feel free to share it in the chat, in the comments below. And, if people reached out to you, if you had the urge to reach out to people, or even ways that you are deciding like, yeah, I'm going to follow my heart, or in this or that way, like, we'd love to hear. So thank you for watching. And Eileen, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Just that I have this lovely little freebie. It's actually an electronic calendar, and I have it beautifully designed so you can print it out too. And it has all the things on it, like the Venus retrograde dates, so that you don't have to remember. You can download it directly to your calendar. Super, super, super simple. It's fast and easy, and we'll link it down below so you can grab it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.